difficulty. What does it truly mean when something is difficult? When we're looking at a franchise like Pokemon, you can say it comes from strong trainers with OP mons. But what if there was more than that? Something more frightening. Something that puts fear into people's minds by just hearing its name. Allow me to introduce you to Pokémon Platinum Kaizo. Created by the same person behind the infamous Emerald Kaizo hack, just know that we're in for a whole lot of pain. Instead of playing this as a Nuzlocke like most people do, I thought I'd stick to the roots of Sinnoh and play as a character many of us know and love. Platinum.
What?
Or, I guess I should say Dawn in this case. You know, if he's Platinum instead of Dawn in the title, it'd be really confusing. I'll be following her manga team, allow me to use every Pokemon she used throughout this series. It doesn't matter whether she caught it herself or borrowed it from someone else. This game introduces a ton of new features, but the biggest ones are overhauled boss fights, hard level caps, and over 500 competitive enemy trainers to challenge.
Hey, what you doing, boy?
A lot of people doubt me, especially after seeing my previous experiences with games like Reborn. But never let people tell you who or what you are, but write your own story. And that's exactly why I'm going to beat this entire game and prove everybody wrong. Kick back, relax, like, subscribe, and enjoy the video. Without wasting a second, I'll begin by nicknaming myself Platina.
We gonna call ourselves Platina then. Like Giratina and shit too, you know, Platina, Latina. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Mi amor. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Cuántos tienes? ¿Qué eres?
Like, what am I saying, Mush? Fuck up. I also named our rival Pearl since that was his name in the manga. By technicality, this challenge lets me pick between all 3 Sinnoh starters, but the one I chose was Piplup. One thing I really like about this game is that you can immediately check your nature, so I reset for a decent one before doing my first battle against Pearl. Thanks to the dog's listing encounters, I realized I could already get my second team member, Swinub. The problem was, this thing was kinda kicking my ass. Whoa! Don't kill me now! I eventually catch it and name it Borealis. Luckily, my third member was a Benary who Anyway, we got bugs on the team, but just from the first few trainers alone, I already knew this game was gonna stink. Once I made it to the next town, I blindly ran into a battle and got my ass beat. Turns out if I actually wanted my next encounter, I had to beat those trainers first, because these dudes were being complete nuisances. Before that though, I did a coupon thing for the Poketch, but I did not expect these clowns to fight back. They were tough too, and a couple of them even wiped me out, but eventually, I pulled through. Now finally strong enough to beat the trainers guarding my encounter, I picked up Sharon the Cherubi, along with the 1% encounter Lotad, Miss Sombra. Yes, I am fully locking in with the Overwatch references. With a team of 5 now assembled, I was ready to take on Pearl. His lead was A-Bomb who instantly faked me out, but thankfully Bugs had Rolling Kick. Mankey came out next, so I stopped into our Piplup, aka the King. Peck did solid damage, but he U-turned into Elekid, forcing me to pivot into Borealis. Mudslap put in work and eventually took it down. I sold back into King to finish the Mankey, but firstly I had to sack Charon for the Turd Wing. Somehow Powder Snow didn't take it down, and I almost lost 3 of my Mons. Tailo came in, activating Guts with Quick Attack, and I thought it was over. But for some reason the AI completely shit itself and kept spamming Protect, letting Bugs take it down. One Rolling Kick to the face, followed by a Bubble from the King, secured us the win. And just like that, our little penguin was now one step closer to becoming the king of the oceans. Things were looking good. I knew the gym leader had a level cap of 16, but what I didn't realize at the time was that it was a hard cap. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I accidentally got King over it. At first, I didn't think much of it, as I evolved Sombra and picked up Platinum 6 member Ponyta, aka Mustang. Be for real though, this is a perfect name. A reference to the horse and the guy from Full Metal Alchemist. I cooked. Also realized some moves got buffed, also becoming different typings. The Orc Bird Gym was definitely a challenge though. You couldn't skip a single trainer in here, but that wasn't even the worst part. It was the moment when I realized King couldn't even be used in the battle. Newbie mistake number 1. Already knew how bad this was since this was a rock type gym. But regardless, I tried to make use of what I had. I ain't gonna hold you, my first attempt was an absolute disaster. His Shuckle straight up swept my entire team. I knew I had to lock in, so I gave Sharon Toxic, but even then, this battle was brutal. Bugs managed to take down the Lilleep and Mustang handled the Cranidos. But unfortunately, Corsola had Accelerock in his game and wiped my last remaining Mons. You might be wondering why the sad music is still playing, and I'll tell you why. Even during my attempts where I got him down to his last Pokemon, it ended up being this overpowered Gible. It's not even our fucking rock time! It fried my shit with Flamethrower, but I wasn't giving up. In fact, I came up with a plan to get all my Pokemon close to leveling up so to gain an extra edge mid-battle. But my dumbass forgot I saved after losing, meaning my Binario was already level 17 and locked out the fight. It was now a 4v6, and I'ma be honest. I looked at my team and deep down knew, this ain't it. After finally accepting reality, I knew this run was basically impossible and reset my save. I have never had to do that in any challenge video I've ever made. So this game was already speaking volumes. But this ain't gonna be some mob story. This is the experience I need to beat this game. Unless I somehow get that bad ending with a bad egg on my team?
What?
Are we fucking dead ass? Huh? What is happening? Let's do this for real now. His lead was Bonesley, who King immediately took down with Aqua Cutter. I then let Lombre, now named Sombrero, chip away at the next Mom before letting Lola secure the kill. She landed a massive crit on Cranidos and took it down. Against Gible, I missed my first hit, but landed second and third. The Shuckle Demon eventually took down Lola, but thankfully Charon had Toxic up its sleeve, letting me stall it out before Mustang landed the final hit. Last was this fuck-ass Corsola who I used to fear, but this time around, got absolutely destroyed. We did it. First badge acquired. One thing I started noticing while fighting trainers on certain routes is that these games love locking into areas. Like, I literally couldn't even go back and heal here. I guess that's normal for Kaizo games? Man, I don't even know. It's the reason I lost this fight though. After beating everyone, I reached Floroma Town, where luckily for me, my 7th member Pachirichu was waiting. This thing got insanely buffed in this game, and honestly, ended up being one of the best Pokemon on my team. I named it Pachimori, which is yet another Overwatch reference. It was time for some Team Galactic biz, and these motherfuckers are not holding back. After suffering through this gauntlet fight, I managed to stack enough Zenkai boosts to clear the remaining grunts, and eventually face Mars. For context, I haven't been using the dogs to check their trainer teams because I like going in blind. But holy fuck, I had no idea what I was about to walk into. Skarmory instantly got Tailwind up while my mons focused down the Hippo. Garfield's cousin proudly stepped in while King was forced to tank a nasty return. King landed a crit in response, but fell shortly after. It was left on a sliver of HP, but then she switched into Gligar and completely walled my attacks. Then she made another switch into Gabite while the Gligar started firing off Earthquakes. Wow, I'm getting humiliated right now, because I deadass only managed to take down one Mon. I was basically stuck on this battle until I finally remembered I had a brain and needed to remove Chen from the team while actually making use of my berries. Some of her Mons kept putting me to sleep, but I luckily had Chesto berries to counter it, along with a Chillin berry to weaken normal type attacks. Even then, she still kept beating me. After stubbornly throwing myself at this fight for nearly an hour and slowly learning her move patterns, it finally clicked. I focused both my attacks on Skarmory. After that, I switched, predicting the incoming Earthquake while going for a crunch on the incoming Gligar. Unfortunately, both my mons got outsped and taken down. Knowing the Hippo would most likely click Protect, I focused both attacks onto Gligar and booted from the field. Perugly then landed an Iron Tail one-shotting Boo while I countered the incoming Yawn with my Chesto Berry. Knowing Hippo would Protect again, I let my heavy hitters focus Perugly and nearly took it down. Mustang took the hit while King went in for the revenge kill. I landed a huge kill on Soul Rock, letting me take it down in one turn. I knew her Gabite almost always clicked Protect turn 1, so I aimed every attack at the Hippo and took it down. Now all she had left was a half-dead Skarmory and Gabite. There honestly isn't much else to say, besides the fact I won. Oh my god, bro. And I still have to make sure I'm not overlevel until the next gym. And trust me, I really try not to overlevel. The cap was 28, and even after going through an entire forest, plus a bunch of other bullshit, I almost made it to the city before I... This fucking sucked. Pachimari is good defensively, but it also had Fire Fang, which would have been great against the next gym. Sharon evolved, and at least in Eterna City, I managed to grab a Water Stone for Sombrero. Also had to bench King until Gardenia, but man oh man, this gym may look all kumbaya and shit, but this place was literally the spawn room of the devil himself. First off, already screwed up by getting Mustang to level 28, and even though I won the first battle, I lost the second one. For some reason, I had to fight literally every trainer again. Yeah, fuck that. I thankfully saved before the first trainer, so I knew I had to play this way more carefully now. Mari was already over-leveled, so I just threw her back on the team to help me deal with these trainers. But I quite literally had to start using rare candies like revives while making sure nobody passed level 28. Man, Lola evolved, and by the grace of God, I finally defeated the last trainer. I brought back King and stepped directly back into hell against Gardenia. The first mon she uses isn't even a grass type. It's a fucking Miltank. Not only did this thing have Stealth Rocks and Body Slam, but it also had a Milk Drink. While I sat there getting my booty tickled by this thing, the only thought running through my head was...
He could only have gotten that idea from Benjamin Netanyahu. That's it.
Even though it went down, this fake Rotom Grass comes out and kicks my ass. Yes, fake. Because in this game, it's literally Electric Ghost. It didn't take long for me to realize she had a full-blown terrorist team, and I was losing in seconds. However, this was still doable. Funnily enough, I forgot to evolve Sombrero, but I was getting confused hacked anyway and lost. Oh, I actually got hacked. This cannot be real. And I hit, like I never hit to confuse. Can you lock the fuck in? I lost a good amount of times until, once again, I remembered I have actual gray matter and finally gave Sombrero a better water type move. I was low-key cooking her, but unfortunately, Torterra's is way too bulky and held its ground. There's no way. There's actually no way. There's actually no way. What the fuck, bro? It got so bad I wasn't even close to the face cam anymore. But let me lock in. If you didn't notice already, it constantly rains inside the gym. That makes fire types and fire moves complete ass, but I still found a way to use it to my advantage. Thanks to Swift Swim, Sombrero was outspeeding pretty much everything, and Boosted Water Pulse completely destroyed Miltank. Next up was Roast Raid, which I sacked Boo for. They gave me a free switch into Mustang, who landed the strongest crit yet. A beautiful KO. I didn't plan on switching afterward, so I bounced on the melodic and luckily got the paralysis. Swapped in Sombrero and took it down. I got one hit off on Mo before switching to Cherry. For once, I actually broke through confusion and landed Toxic, sealing its fate. I get one Absorb off and letting it die of poison. The next phase of the fight was honestly just a Ludicolo diff in my favor. Her final mon was Torterra, who I believe went for a random move due to my HP, which ended up being Roar. Regardless, in this game, Primpup also gets Swift Swim, meaning was able to outspeed Torterra and land one final hit before going down. I then sent in Mustang, who almost one-shotted with Bounce before ultimately leaving the finishing blow to Lola. You see how he's low-key still winning? You see how he's low-key still winning? Second batch acquired, but holy shit, that was an extreme diff. I unfortunately was forced to teach Lola Cut to continue the story, but almost right away, I was back to getting my ass beat. They sure love their portals in this building, but more importantly, the fight against Jupiter. I would have loved to say the first attempt was at least decent, but this battle was so one-sided, I generally don't think I need to explain anything else. Eventually I realized my current team just wasn't strong enough, and Poison types were absolutely kicking my ass. I had benched Boo earlier, but I needed him back badly. Being just a swine up wasn't cutting it anymore, so I was forced to evolve him, which thankfully happened at the next level cap, 38. I went for a Rock Tomb followed by a Dig and managed to two-shot this fat fuck. Quick Lock then popped off, letting me get an Aurora Beam in. I swapped into Mustang, who somehow survived an Ancient Power and took it down. Luckily I also landed a crit bounce while paralyzing the Gyarados, but even then, Mori still died. Lola stepped in for the revenge kill and immediately crit the Medicham while dodging the high jump kick. Slay Queen! That's what you girls say. Alright. Unfortunately, she missed her first attack afterward and went down to Electro. Sombrero almost survived too before Electrode exploded in his face. Last up was King versus Lunatone. The victory was almost certain until I saw how hard this thing actually hit. Please? Low roll? King! Oh my fucking god, bro! The King! Oh my, he doesn't play, bro. King, you can't make this shit up, bro. I know I'm playing this game so wrong, by the way. I know. Yo, I know you watched the prop thing in this ragtag ass trainer, bro. What an absolute goat. More and more roadblocks kept appearing. And I really did not expect this game to only let me use 3 Pokemon recycling road. That completely caught me off guard. But with pure grit and probably over 30 losses, I eventually pushed through. Oh! I finally made it to Mount Cornet and almost missed my next encounter entirely. I need you. I need you more than you realize.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Just start a great ball at. What the fuck am I doing, bro? Like, I'm not trying to kill you. I caught one and named her Millie, and luckily, she ended up having both a good nature and pure power. King had now fully evolved into Empoleon, while Mustang became a Rapidash. Eventually I arrived in Hardhome City and started preparing for Frantina's gym. The gym itself had the usual next door puzzle gimmick, but I eventually made it to her. I got everybody to level 38 and headed straight into the battle. And honestly speaking, I beat the first try. I was pretty happy about this, until I noticed the dialogue and realized this wasn't the real Fantina. Wait, what? Oh boy. Not only did I get baited, but now I had to make sure my ass did not overlevel. The battles in these next rooms were fucking AIDS, bro. I'll be completely honest. I dodged and cheesed the hell out of these trainers because I was not trying to fight them. Some were unavoidable, but I at least managed to reach the real Fantina while staying within the cap. Like, this is the worst gym. I've never been through so much cheesing and AIDS in my life. And now we'll have the gym battle, the official one. The first round against her didn't go too badly, but her actual team was definitely stronger. She beat me twice in a row until my Maharaga wheel had adapted. Mustang counters her Frostlass and even managed to take down Miss Magus as well. He gets one final hit before falling, but thankfully Lola comes in for the follow-up. Miss! Oh my, you actually missed! And that miss was huge. And Nasty Crunchstone and Gengar leaves it hanging just above the red, and thanks to Lola finally understanding it now, takes it down. Thanks to the ability Scrappy, she can now hit Ghost-type moves with moves that would normally be immune to them, meaning Rolling Kick is super effective against Spiritomb. Unfortunately though, it still wasn't enough to take it down. Sombrero gets it to the red, and Boo comes in to secure the kill. Her final Pokemon was Rodon Flying, but I made sure to get a Rock Tomb off for speed control before my boy King landed the final blow. Please! Come on. Oh my goodness, even a critical hit. And just like that, Fantina was slain. Honestly, one of the better battles so far. But I never want to go through a gym puzzle like that again, bro. The next major battle was against Pearl. This man had clearly gone through a training arc. Not only did his Swellow have U-turn, but he crit Stone Edge on me, barely letting Boo do anything. Not even Mustang's Blaze Kick was doing damage, which had me wondering, does this fucker have thick fat? Which it actually does. He proceeds to beat the shit out of King and Lola, and even though Sombrero takes him down, my first loss was inevitable. The next cap was 42, so I made sure to level everyone up, and some of them even got really good moves. Even then, this guy was still a problem. As I'm writing this script and looking back at my losses, I did feel like every major battle is an uphill battle. He's like a moon like Mark Grayson, because every time some strong ass nigga shows up, I get beaten to near death. Rage? He missed! Oh! You fuck! How are you alive? Even on the attempts where I performed much better, there was one Pokemon I completely underestimated. Ambipom. Because in this game, Double It has a base power of 60 instead of 35, meaning it deals 120 total damage, before you even factor in the stab boost from Ambipom. He's gonna go fake out, like this guy, dude, this guy. He missed! Bright powder! Oh my god, it's the bright powder! That's how he missed rage and shit. What is his last Bro, die. What was that damage?
Look at Randy Orton slithering.
Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Hello? I will commit a crime soon. I don't know when, but I will commit a crime soon. I really will do it soon. Pearl was kicking my ass, but I wasn't giving up. And Pearl walls to swallow, but Quick Claw pops off and I land 4 spears in a row. I swap into Boot to absorb the incoming electric move, and as it goes for Meditate, I fire off a Rock Tomb to lower his speed. I end up outspeeding him, and both of them fall shortly after. I switch into Charon. Luckily, I tank the U-turn and get a Toxic off on the Demon Monkey. And Polion takes the Fake Out, then gets chunked hard by the double hit, but still manages to kill it with Aqua Cutter. For some reason, he clicks Stone Edge afterward, which lets me get 1 free Drill Peck off. Then he misses the next one, meaning King just took down 3 of his strongest hitters. He's proving exactly why he's the leader of this squad. Quick Claw? No, we're dead here. King! This guy always survives at 1 HP. King, bro. As King finally falls, Sharon gets a revenge kill and poisons the Slacking, leading to my victory. Awesome sauce. There was definitely some interesting trainers ahead, and I may have gotten stuck on a double battle for a while, but I eventually made it to Veilstone City. Little did I know how special this gym was. You have to solve the puzzle in the most optimal way possible. Otherwise, you'd be forced to restart the entire thing, including battling all the trainers. I made sure to beat everyone and follow the tutorial on YouTube. As best as I could, and eventually got to Melee. Even though Melee evolved, she doesn't learn a single good physical psychic type move, and fun fact, the only fighting type move I had was Rock Smash 2. Great. I shouldn't even be surprised anymore, because her first mon isn't even a fighting type. Instead, it's this thing that sets up Stealth Rocks, which also has close combat. This Hitmonlee doesn't just hit hard either. Thanks to Quick Feet, its speed gets doubled when poisoned. I knew I was doomed, so I began resetting. Most of my losses honestly came from the Quick Feet abuse on Hitmonlee and Dojo, but even then, battle still felt very doable. All I did was spam Seal Wing in hopes of raising my defense, but luckily Kanga died instead. Lee kicks King shit in, but Melee comes in and actually takes it down. Dojo may be fast as hell, but all I needed was 1 T-Fang and Excel Rock from Mori. She may have the superior Medicham, but thanks to the power of God and anime on my side, it missed high jump kick and died the following turn. Blaze Kick did wonders against Lucario, and thankfully, it didn't have E-Speed. Her final Pokemon was Infernape, who I managed to land a bounce on before Lola secured the killing blow. Not too bad of a gym, and honestly, the puzzle was more annoying than the battle. After an unbearable amount of double battles and some weird fucking gauntlet this blondie made me go through, I somehow survived and made it to Pistoria Town. I was really happy about this, because this is where the Muri learner lives. The town also had a safari zone where I could grab my next team member, Chatot. I named it Dahlia, but I honestly mixed things up and I thought this was the Pokemon borrowed from Dahlia, or it's actually from Pearl. Speaking of Pearl, I had a feeling it tried to cuck me before the gym. If my lead had been different, I probably would have won the first try. But thankfully it didn't take long before I got the win. Afterward, I sought Mustang out for Sombrero and entered yet another cancerous gym. From my understanding, you're only allowed to use the water level buttons 26 times before failing the puzzle. Not only was that stressing me out, but everybody and their mother in this place had Swift Swim and were being the fuck out of my team. Luckily, I eventually solved the puzzle and was finally ready to fight Wake. One thing I quickly realized was that his entire team had Swift Swim. The second I saw that damage, I knew I was cooked. What? His Swampert took down 2 of my mons while Poliwrath beat the rest. Sometimes I look back at this footage and genuinely ask myself, how can I be bothered with this shit? This footage is incredibly sped up, but it took me like a good 40 minutes until I got my most optimal run. Just look at this attempt. Sombrero was cooking, and I was still getting home. I led with King and learned that if I clicked Steel Wing, he'd switch directly into Swampert. Luckily, Steel Wing raised my defense while dodging his yawn and landed a free hit. I tanked the EQ and ended off with AQ. Poliwrath then took down King, but on a low roll, Sharon survived the hit and took it out. We go mon for mon, and honestly, I couldn't have been happier to have Melee on the team because this man randomly had a Snorlax. Even though Quillfish beat her ass, it didn't even bother attacking Sombrero, letting it freely spam Energy Ball. This time around, Floatzel didn't survive either, and ended up dying to its own life orb. This might have looked easy, but trust me, a lot of it came down to trial and error. Screw rain teams, man. It was time for more Team Galactic biz, and these motherfuckers made sure to be a pain in the ass. Like, what? As you can tell from my blurry camera, I was having the time of my life. Bro, die! Oh my god. Like, I hate fucking Pokemon like this. With a burning fucking passion.
That didn't fucking kill. That Accelerock didn't kill.
Outside of me being completely baffled by some of these battles, hit this XL Rock or I will kill you. Okay, I will kill you. I'll fucking kill you. Wait, that nigga actually still battles me regardless. Yo! What the fuck is this route? What the fuck is this route? And this one bitch at the end still. I eventually made it to the baddie Jupiter. Man, oh man, this was one of those battles. Yes, double battle. Double intimidate. Just off the initial launch, I reset. Even with different leads, these guys were just too strong, man. They kept repeating the same Earthquake combo, tearing through my team. Eventually I got on one where I managed to position both of them, which helped a ton. But the second I saw Medicham, I was shitting bricks. And if you thought things couldn't get worse, watch this. What do I look like to you? What do I look like to you? Can you answer this question? What do I look like to you? I'm even stuttering. What do I look like to you? Oh my god, I actually thought it was winnable for a second. For a second, it was actually winnable. Yo! Yo! I knew landing Toxic on one of them would give me the best chance to win, and thanks to a bit of luck, he missed his move, letting melee attack before both of them fell. Pachimari outspeeds the Gyarados and takes it down, but he gets knocked out immediately after. I land a Dizzy Punch on Medicham, hoping the confusion sticks, and for once, things actually went my way. She misses Thumb while I landed Blaze Kick and Charm. Unfortunately, Mari gets focused down, and then I start missing all my moves. If you couldn't tell already, there's a fog effect during this battle that makes missing attacks way more common.
Just go Flameless. As much as I actually don't want to do that, I had to.
And I just missed Rock Slide on Mustang, and all I needed to do was land my attacks and win the battle. Yo, I'm not about to lose this right now. I'm not about to lose this. Still missing my move with Mustang, and he goes down. Lola fights valiantly against his Goliath and managed to weaken it significantly. But the truth is, Fee wasn't ever. Even though I ended up in a better position, it still managed to outdo me in the end. Things were looking grim, but let it be known, when I take off my glasses, I'm locked in. Taurus misses while I land Toxic and somehow frees the Gyarados. It misses again, letting me get 2 attacks off for free. The rock was out, and I was paranoid Mara was about to get stomped, but instead I went for Rock Polish. I started missing my moves, which had me hella stressed, but King, being the GOAT, lands a critical hit Steel Wing. Kinda make a shitty play here by not attacking Gyarados, but I make up for it on the next turn. I missed Thunder Fang, but land Ice Beam. Unfortunately, both of them go down. It was melee against 3, as he took down the Tangrowth in seconds. However, the next few turns were absolute torture. Please, please, please! Millie, please! Melee is the GOAT. She actually won a 1v3. I've never begged so hard. Yo, I think I've never begged so hard in my life to win a battle like that. Like, can we get an instant replay of me, like, begging like that? Melee, please! There wasn't much to do in Celestic Town besides the fated battle against Cyrus. Now, let me tell you, this is one of those battles where I realized this game wasn't pulling any punches. What? What? This man has a fucking Deoxys. Deoxys. It sets up Stealth Rocks and immediately pivots into Salamence. Thankfully, Boo tanks the outrage and takes it down. But he has a Suicune anyway, so who cares? His team was stacked. I knew this fight was gonna take a while to beat, especially with all these hard hitters. But the truth is, this Rotom Fridge was the most annoying mon on his team. It shot on King, shot on Lola, and almost took out Mustang too. There was no way for me to outspeed the Deoxys, and Psycho Boost wasn't even lowering his attack. So I just knew it was wraps. Unless he misses. He was down to his last mon, which just had to be Metagross. For a first blind attempt, honestly not too bad. By this point, I actually had a roster I could swap Pokemon around for specific battles, so I ended up bringing Dahlia over Lola. Vulture was still ahead. How is that crit allowed? But as always, I fought my third to victory. Mustang absolutely massacres the Deoxys, while Mari somehow annihilates the Suicune. I pivoted into Dahlia to dodge the EQ and managed to land both Heat Waves, melting this beast down. Melee tanks the feint attack and knocks out the Weavile. This fuck-ass Fridge is back, but as he clicks nasty plots, I hit it with a Petal Dance and survive on 1 HP, giving me just enough room to land a Toxic. That was all I needed. Mustang lands a devastating strike, leaving only Salamence left. I may have missed bounds, but it didn't matter because Ice Beam finished the job. Get fucked on. This actually wasn't one of the most infuriating battles, but one that required me to play real precise. Normally Cynthia's grandma gives you haste and surf here, but in this game, you have to get it to somewhere else. And by somewhere else, I mean a one Pokemon Mansion challenge. Yes, you heard that right. I was low-key shitting bricks at first because I thought you couldn't leave to heal, but thankfully the game lets you do that, and you don't have to reuse the same mon or refight trainers. King survives on 1 HP as usual and wins his battle against his old head, earning us Surf. But with Surf finally acquired, I could pick up one of the best members, Drifloon. Named her Fanny, has a play on Fatina's name, although I think this means something different in the UK. Her moveset was amazing and quickly evolved too. In this game she gets Unburdened, doubling her speed after consuming an item. It was time to make some sweaty plays. I arrive in Canalave City and have my next battle against Pearl. It didn't go too bad. Unburdened clutched up, almost taking out that demon monkey too. I still lost, but it didn't take long before I got the win. After that, I needed to head to Iron Island, but something completely caught me off guard. To board the boat, none of your Pokemon could be over 200 pounds. That meant I either had to get rid of 2 team members or bench the big bag. Now this was the current squad, and surprisingly, the Pokemon you'd think were the heaviest weren't. In reality, it was Mustang. So I benched him, boarded the boat, teamed up with Riley, and proceeded to beat Team Galactic's ass. Once that was done, I headed back to Canalave and I could finally enter the gym. But as I did, what? This was by far the most annoying gym yet. I'll keep it short, but the entire gym had been remodeled into a giant tunnel system where you had to avoid invisible traps and make sure you enter the correct rooms. Depending on the earthquakes with dialogue, the gym layout could be in a completely different direction. If you entered the wrong one, this giant Wailord was here instead. I'm genuinely grateful for YouTube because I had no idea how I would have figured this puzzle out. And if you try to leave... What if I leave now? Wait, this might be worse than the Fantina. Oh no, this is worse than the Fantina. Oh no, this is worse than the Fantina gym. Thankfully, there was a PC sitting inside the gym, which let me abuse a niche strategy to repeatedly deposit and withdraw my Pokemon to heal them. This had to have purposely been here, because Byron's gym is hell spawn. Most of the trainers weren't even steel types, but at this point, we already know Kaizo on some bullshit. What is happening? Yo! I reached Byron and was ready to kick his ass. His lead was Metagross, who Mustang unfortunately couldn't take down, but it created the perfect opening for Fanny. He goes for Stealth Rocks while I land an ominous win, getting the Omni boost. That's huge. Focus Blast? And we hit 2. Lands an Ice Beam, but only does about half, letting my Oran Berry activate and triggering Unburden. I was now +2 speed and +1 in every other stat, and Fanny was obliterating this guy. I guess you could say you could feel the aura. Holy jump scare. I get one O-wind off before falling while it goes for Doom Desire. I one tap it with EQ, then go for it again, but go down to Iron Tech. Our Gal Millie takes care of it, but goes on to Doom Desire. His last spawn was literally a Dragonite. This is fucking hilarious, right? Anyway, I immediately land a Toxic on it, and despite it taking Charian down, King was left to slay the dragon. Please?
Oh my god, King!
Please? Lock in, bro, lock in. What is that berry? What the fuck is that berry? Hold on. This better not do a lot of damage. Oh my god, King. Oh my, don't crit me, don't. Yes! Oh my god, King! I'm sitting like L right now. It died for recoil. That was one of the best gym battles yet. And on the first try, let's go, baby. Generally, no one like King. First fucking try. First of all, shut out Drifting like crazy. This guy just became a recent member and he's been putting in that fucking work, bro. On Burden plus Ominous Wind with stat race is insane. Strike ass. Let's get to the end of this game. 6 gym is down. I was hella proud of myself, but I couldn't afford to get complacent. Team Galactic was back to causing chaos, so I headed to Lake Valor where I teamed up with Marley. Never underestimate these grunts, because they pack quite the fucking punch. Eventually we reached Saturn, and I already knew this fight was gonna be on some bullshit, because it was somehow raining inside a cave. You have an asshole. Despite him having 2 legendaries by his side, we actually won the first try. Lucas was waiting for me at Lake Verity, and holy shit, man. This one double battle was edging me for 30 minutes. But the fight against Mars wasn't any better. Her team was way more annoying now that everything was fully evolved. And that Ninetales was sweeping my shit. Surprisingly, the Garchomp wasn't even that scary. And for a moment, this arm was looking mad promising. Mesprit, you know?
Helping hand? What do I look like? You kill it.
Oh, my ass is right. Yes! Okay. Die. Stop going for helping hand! Are you fucking kidding me? Your dad is gonna rage bait me during this battle, Lucas? From this day onward, I hope you burn in the depths of hell where you watch all your loved ones die over and over again. Because nothing will ever be as bad as me being this close to victory, only for you to ruin everything! Sorry. Did I go too far?
Like he keeps getting crits!
After a ton of losses and help me hands this nigga did, we finally defeated them. I need to head toward where Pearl was waiting, but these snowy routes were packed with strong trainers. And don't even get me started on Route 217, bro.
Are you kidding me?
I had to go through a freaking snowstorm. You could barely tell where you were on the screen, and to make things worse, trainers were hiding around every corner waiting to jump you. On the bright side, I managed to get my next team member, Snowrun. I wanted to be a bit creative, so I called her Icy. Luckily, the route wasn't too long, so I made it through quickly. Pearl was chilling at the top, but since I didn't have rock climb yet, I couldn't reach him. I arrived in Snowpoint City and immediately started prepping for the gym. Icy evolves into Frostlass with a decent stat spread. This was the squad, and I was feeling pretty confident. As I step into the gym, I immediately get jumped by an old man. I'm lost in seconds. Yeah, okay. I readjusted the team. I was ready to take on Candace. Y'all know Candace, right? You don't? Well, Candace dick fitting your mouth.
Just stop, bro. This shit old and corny as fuck. Just play the freaking game and shut up.
Despite missing my first attack, I still managed to take the last down. I'll go for another Rock Tomb for extra speed control, which guarantees melee the KO on the Lapras. I'm definitely surprised to see an Articuno, but whatever. I paired into King, who gets confused and unfortunately dies to it. Mustang lands a nasty Flare Blitz and takes it out. I go for it again and even burn the Mamoswine before falling. Our gal Icy steps in and takes it down with an Aura's Fiddle. What? Bro, what is this bullshit? Aura's Fiddle didn't even do half. It's at +2 speed and is healing from the hail. Somehow I still outspeed, but she wasn't lasting much longer. A crit one-shot melee leaving me with only Pachimari, who gets frozen anyway. The second attempt I got hold because Articuno got the Omni boost, but I tore through her team on the third. She sets up spikes while I spam Rock Tomb, taking her lead out. I used it again on Lapras, then get a lucky Rock Slide flinch to finish it off. I don't know why she got a fucking Bronzor, but Boo couldn't really do much here, so Mustang handled it instead. I go for Jump Kick because I know Mamoswine has thick fat in this game, then let Icy clean it up. It didn't get the Omni boost this time, which let King get damage off and allowed Mario to secure the final blow. The only thing left was his fat Reggie Ice. Mario may have fallen, but Melee was the powerhouse I needed. Let's go! After defeating Candace, I meet Cynthia outside, where she basically tells me I'm too weak to help Pearl right now. She arranged a charter for me to head to Sunyshore and earn my final badge. I thought the trip there would be reasonably difficult, but the second double battle I ran into had me taking major back shots for an additional 50 minutes. After an unbearable amount of battles and some weird relationship drama between these four, I finally arrived in Sunyshore City. Not so sunny, huh? And guess what? The entire city's electricity is gone, meaning you can't even use the Pokemon Center bell. I had to go all the way back just to heal, and for a second, I genuinely thought I had soft-locked myself out the gym. I didn't have Rock Climb yet, but the only way to reach the area was by using Fly. Shout out to the one guy in a PCL Discord server who told me that, because holy fuck, I would have been completely lost. So yes, I needed to bring a flying type into an electric type gym, but whatever. The gym itself was in complete darkness. You had to solve a puzzle while beating trainers within a certain amount of turns. If it took too long, I think you had to redo it all. Thankfully, I didn't need to. In this game, you evolved Piloswine on Route 217, which was the final piece I needed against Volkner. Let's see what this guy has in store. He leaves with Zapdos and a Swampert, and let's just say the first attempt went to shit. The second attempt went a little better, but I was expecting Chen to one-shot the Swampert, which it didn't. Icy finishes it off, but dies to Hurricane. I went for Jump Kick in case I had a Fire Resist Berry, but it had to be the complete opposite. Great. Eventually sends out Raikou, and at that point, I knew defeat was inevitable. The third attempt goes to shit, and so does the fourth, and the fifth was no different. Nowhere missed! At this point, I knew I had to wake the fuck up and lock in. So I started using my cognitive abilities to defeat this Blondie. I leave with Icy and Boo and immediately fire off an Ice Beam into Zapdos, one-shotting it with a crit. I swap the Fanning while Boo goes for Earthquake, but unfortunately Magnezone has Levitate. My Unburden is now active, so I know the best play is Explosion. I switch back into Icy, taking 0 damage from it. Holy play! He sends out Electivire, and I immediately knew I had to focus this thing down before it opted to be my ass. Electivire goes down, but so does Icy. Muddy Water one-shots Mustang, but thankfully Charian gets a Petal Dance off, confusing the Magnezone, making it hit itself. Kingdra uses a Hurricane on Charian, giving me a free turn to fire up Rock Slide, nearly taking down both. Thundercat is out, and as Kingdra uses another Hurricane, this dude goes for Thunder. This will prove to be his biggest mistake. Boo! Boo, please! Boo, please! You went from a weak-ass swine up into a pretty steady Piloswine, and now you're the Mamoswine. Oh my goodness. Oh my god! Look at my god! Is that it? Look at my god! Say the victory. Fucking stream biff. Oh my god, bro. Holy shit, we actually did it, bro. We did it. Strikers. Outside of me, Jasmine, and she gives me Rock Climb, finally allowed me to meet up with Pearl, who got his ass beat. After that, I head back to Veilstone City, and truthfully speaking, this was about to be the most brutal section of the entire game. Weather teams against my scrawny-ass squad had already proved to be a nightmare. Sure, I swapped team members around whenever I could to counter specific fights, but some of these battles were just ridiculous. This scientist right here was putting me through hell. Let me tell you, every battle inside the Galactic HQ had a permanent trick room active. That means slow Pokemon move first, while fast ones move last. Remember that, because it was about to become one of the most annoying mechanics I've ever had to deal with in a Pokemon game. Long story short, I beat this guy after 30 minutes. The next ground fights weren't any better though. The endless resets and dodges I had to make were starting to get to me, and honestly, started to become unbearable. Speaking of unbearable, this guy right here with the McCargo has to unironically be top 5 hardest fights in the game. This footage is all sped up, and I was trying to cheese like crazy. I'm talking about save stating between turns just to see if I can find the most optimal run possible. Is that borderline cheating? Because I genuinely don't know. Fortunately, I did beat him and got the galactic card I needed, but the pain was far from over. After another unnecessary hour of fighting these pests, I eventually made it to the big boss himself. I tried to think of something cool to say here, but honestly, I'll just let the battle speak for itself. I began by using Toxic and quickly realized it's doing absolutely nothing. They really gave this thing magic art. After setting up spikes, he switched into Heatran, and I was praying Millie could survive whatever it threw out, which she barely did. At least thick fat health Boo here, but Registeel was a problem. Because of the permanent trick room, his entire team started speeding mine. I eventually took down the Titan, but this Dusknoir was a menace. It had some item called Berserk Gene that boosted its attack, and this thing was hitting like a truck. In fact, it swept me. This was barely scratching the surface of the pain I was about to endure, because this was some 4th or 5th attempt type of battle. This was an endless loop of suffering. I switched up the team a bit, but still the same results. I added Fanny and Dahlia back, but I was getting destroyed. Oh my god. How can you hit so hard? This Dusknoir was deadass moving like Z Broly, bro. He was beating the fuck out of everyone. Like, why does this guy even have Berserk G? Who made this shit? Fuck off, bro. What? This guy was my Conquest. This guy was my Jiren. This guy was my Hoken. How many more examples do I need to give you? Even when I got him down to his last Pokemon, he just reverse sweep. Tell me why Curse is allowed in a permanent trick room battle, making Gyro Ball fucking broken. I'm sitting here struggling to understand what I'm doing wrong. Is this really it? GG. GG. That's game. That's game. That's game. Is this the end? I feel hopeless. I feel so weak. And I never thought I'd say this, but I think I'm fucked. This battle. Cyrus. What kind of messed up team even is that? In complete despair, I was deadass moving like a mark, calling Cecil for help.
Cecil! I need you, Cecil! Please.
Except, my Cecil was my friend Killer Fish. This guy knows his shit. He's a complete sweat, so when I asked him for help, I actually felt a little relieved. A couple of days passed, and to my surprise, even he said it was cooked. If one of the best Pokemon players I know couldn't beat this fight, with all his team building skills, was it really over? No. I had to give her one more shot. I managed to get my hands on a Togekiss by catching a Togetic around 213. Egg the Second was our last hope. He's a direct descendant from Oreg from the Heart Gold video. Well, he was supposed to be Oreg the Second, but I forgot his name. You get the point though. I stuck to my usual game plan, resetting until I got the Omniboost and predicted to switch into Regigigas. To guarantee the kill if I'm missing, I went for Explosion. I knew that on a low roll, Chern would survive and take down the beast. Heatran came out, and after Chern fell, I let King finish it off. All I did was spam Avalanche on the Deoxys, praying for a freeze until I could finally bring it down. I got another lucky freeze on Dusknoir, letting King slay yet another Mon. He was putting in overtime. Both me and King were tired of losing. The annoying ass Registeel is out, and I predict the incoming EQ by swapping into Egg. Without hesitation, I started spamming Fire Blast like there was no tomorrow. Surviving at just 22 HP from a +2 Gyro Ball is nuts. It really would have been impossible without Togekiss, as I really needed a special attacker. I don't think you guys understand. Like, at this point, it feels like so much cheese. It does feel like so much cheese. Like, I was dead as about to just stop this whole project and just drop the fucking video. But now we're still gonna continue this hell. We're still about to continue this hell. This fight really broke down my confidence, bro. But does this mean I actually did surpass Killer? Shit, I don't know. The only way I was ever winning this battle was with the perfect combination of stat boost, dodges, rolls, crits, all of the above. It's quite fucking sad, but c'est la vie. I had to fight these two geeks who thankfully weren't as painful to beat. My next destination was through Mount Cornet to stop Team Galactic. I met a few allies along the way who helped me, but this game was fucked up for making you encounter level 100 Wobbuffets with Magic Coat, Counter, and Debon. To all my Nuzlockers, I feel bad for ya. Eventually I made it to Spirit Pillar where I took down some tough grunts before having my final battle against these baddies. Pearl was there to help me out, and it definitely made things easier. Their teams were stacked, but it wasn't unbearable. Cyrus does his thing and summons all 3 legendaries. Naturally, the Distortion World opens, and Synth and I prepare to enter. Before we do though, the game warns me like 3 times before stepping through the portal.
What? The game will...
Whoa. We enter, and within a few seconds, I realized my game froze. My whole screen just white. But when I reopened it, it said... What? What?
I just want to make something very fucking clear, bro. Is this even supposed to happen? I'm gonna keep it on buck, bro.
Where am I? At this point, bro, I feel like I got the most scuffed Platinum Kaizo video on the fucking platform, bro. I'm gonna keep it a fucking buck, G. I genuinely thought my game had either corrupted itself or this was somehow supposed to happen. I even went as far as repatching the entire game and it still said the same shit. I can't lie, I went back to the Peachal Discord and asked if I was just fucking cooked. To my genuine surprise, this was supposed to happen. Wow, I've never been troll maxed this hard by any game in my life. Who's actually watching this video, bro? We might need to do the G check. I would say early, but like we're probably like an hour into the video, bro. Nigga, if you're still watching this shit, I wanna see you type corrupted next to your comment, because the real ones will know. Real ones will know. In short, you have to follow specific paths to make it through this maze. It honestly wasn't that bad, but by this point, my mind was already all over the place. Whoa. I finally leave the glitched world and end up back in the distortion world. Now looming over me was Giratina, and I was ready to kick its ass. Just fight you now? Hold on, wait, bro. Hold on, bro. This might be a Platinum Kaizo game. But I'm not gonna be no bitch ass nigga be afraid of one legendary. Yeah, one legendary is the keyword. Just to my surprise, Cyrus shows up behind me, ready to run the fade again. On a scale to 1 to cooked, how cooked am I? They got all coverage moves and hit hard as fuck. And as you can see, the game does not reload when you lose the battle. My whole Desmume crashed, by the way. Yo, oh my god, this is gonna be a fucked battle, bro. Fuck there was indeed. This guy has 5 legendaries on his team, and because my game freezes every time I lose, I was stuck using the same inside the distortion world. If you're always thinking ahead like I was, I could have potentially soft-locked myself into defeat. Sometimes, I ask myself, how long do I have to suffer in life? When you're faced with difficult situations, it's easy to give up. But I grown into someone who believes that with the right mindset, the right choices, and enough determination, you can change anything. I immediately began studying their move patterns and switches. There were attempts where I even got him down to his last 2, but they were still too strong. Focus Band procs on Boo, tanking the Flash Cannon, and Togekiss dodges the Thunder, giving both of them a free attack. This is what we call an optimal turn. They go for a random move because Boo's on low HP, which lets me switch into Drifblim and get low enough to activate Unburden. Thankfully, Palkia dies to a lucky burn while Weavile gets blasted. Unfortunately, Fanny falls to Dark Pulse, but Lola comes in for the revenge kill. These two demons are out, but by the grace of God, Sharon confuses Heatran with a Petal Dance, buying himself another turn. Aquajet takes down Deoxys, while Heatran stays confused. His last one is Regigigas, who Sharon actually tanks a hit from and gets some chip before falling. I know Surf hits everyone on the field, but I needed as much damage on both as possible. Aquajet finished off Heatran, but then... Wait, I actually did it! I actually did it! I actually did it! Oh my god, wait, I almost threw, 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 I almost threw. Why is he dissing me? I don't have any more interferences. And you have Aura Sphere. What? The victory was quite literally within my grasp. But fucking hell, bro. This pissed me off. I had to recreate that exact same lineup again, which was gonna be annoying. As we know, my game freezes every time I lose this fight. And for some reason, OBS wasn't even capturing my gameplay. I'm mentioning that because it was literally the attempt where I beat Giratina. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Like, you guys don't understand the cheese. You guys don't understand the cheese, bro. No one understands the cheese. Wait, why is it not showing my screen? Are we dead ass? There's no way you guys didn't see that happen. With the little amount of PR I had left in my brain, I generally want to go buy a noose and do things. And the funny part is, on my other attempt, I forgot to record a battle, making this anticlimactic. I wasn't even recording again. So not only was the footage on my screen not being fucking recorded, but on this second attempt, I'm left at 1 HP, and so is this fucking Giratina. You know, I wouldn't even redo this battle, bro. But I know people can be like, oh, he's cheating, it wasn't on cam, it wasn't on cam. What I got was a fucking W freeze to kill this guy. But now I don't even... If I don't get the freeze, I can't win. Please. Yes. That's it, right? It's not even as hype because if you guys saw what happened on the fucking run where my shit wasn't even recording, bro. Let's just ignore this entire fucking section. Cyrus is defeated, but so is my fucking soul. I'm gonna tell y'all the unfiltered truth. This isn't enjoyable. I don't think you guys understand how many times I have to reset, sort of learn the patterns, sort of predict what the movie is gonna go for, and then I have to hope for like the fucking crits, the armor boosts, that he misses his moves, shit like that. Like I'm gambling every fight. I'm gambling every fight. It's RNG based. My wins are RNG based. It's barely fucking. Well, there's a degree of calculations, yes, but I need a lot of fucking RNG. We're finally back in the normal world, and it was time for a victory road. To save everyone's precious time, we're not about to watch me fight every single trainer. I eventually made it to the league, but I had this gut feeling I was about to get jumped, which I actually did. You know how fucked that is? In the OG games, he only does that before you challenge the league. I made sure to heal up before the final battle with Pearl. The battle itself wasn't anything too crazy. I saw the focus band activating twice in a row, but it was finally time to say goodbye. With only the league remaining, I made sure to prep and get the things I needed, and brought on my last challenge of this game. I want to give a shout out to all the mods who have supported us throughout this journey. Egg the Second, Boo, King, Mustang, Fanny, Lola, Dahlia, Hachimori, Sharon, Icy, Mr. Sombrero, and last but not least, Melly. This is it, bros. We either lose or we win. Dude, I guess. As we get ready to fight Aaron, the game actually lets you switch one Pokemon throughout the entire league. If you do more than once, is considered a forfeit. I guess that's a nice little tool to save for the end, huh? I was confident enough that I'd beat Aaron first try, which I didn't. I don't know why they gave this man a fucking water type with Swift Sim in the rain, but sure. The moment a Surskit started cooking me, I knew it was wraps. So I went back and swapped Mustang out for Charon. I knew his fuck-ass lead was this fortress, but Egg's Fire Blast dealt enough damage to force out the Kingler, letting me finish it off.
Holy crap!
With 2 mons down, three. This Surskit almost ruined the streak. King takes it down and nearly does the same to Flygon before falling to Outrage Reap. Last but not least was his short-lived Vespiquen. Without wasting a second, I fought Bertha and immediately demolished her Shuckle. I was hoping to outspeed Torterra, but King gets hit with the hammer. But then you get a single... King!
Like, this guy keeps on surprising me. No matter what battle we're in, this guy's putting it overtime.
I had a good start until that Garchomp Swift. I forgot I had Avalanche, so I taught it to Boo, and it was the game changer I needed. Lola lands the crit to secure the win. I had a feeling the next fight was gonna be on some bullshit, but I did not expect Flint to have a Groudon. It goes for bulk up before suddenly switching into Houndoom. This thing has solar power, so Fanny wasn't attacking shit in the sun. Just off the initial start, I knew this ROM was cooked. You know the drill by now. A reset until I learned the move patterns and all type of shit. I let up with Fanny, but after one focus blast, he switched into Uxie, which completely caught me off guard. He switched again, forced me to check Sharon before King cleaned it up. I knew Cess was clicking Earthquake, so I swapped into Egg the second and landed the nastiest attack yet.
Oh, what a crit!
Unfortunately, Ancient Power crits me, but Fanny survives one and activates Unburden and takes it down. This Uxie got too scared and switched into Magmortar, which I knew had to die ASAP. It goes for Memento, ruined my next play against a Charizard, but Boo lands the luckiest dodge of the century.
He missed again!
Oh my god, that's it. That's it. Oh my goodness, bro. I needed to make sure to get rid of Magmortar because Magma Storm was just doing so much damage. This is exactly why I wanted to keep Unburden, bro, because Unburden Explosion just seems to do the fucking job. Lastly was Lucian, and honestly, he was one of the easiest Elite Four members here. So it didn't take long before I beat him, despite getting hacked the entire fight.
I was about to say, I was not about to lose because I got frozen the last fucking turn.
Can you speak, bro? For this last battle, I will look at what Cynthia's team is. Because depending on what she has, I might make this final substitution. Oh. Well, I'm not gonna say what the team is for you watching as a viewer. I'm just not gonna say anything. In the end, I made no substitutions. I'm gonna tell you exactly why. Why is it red in here? For this battle, Cynthia has a permanent gravity field active. In short, she has unlocked domain expansion. You know, I was gonna let her theme play while I fought her, but I felt like this battle deserves something way more dramatic and intense. She opens with Stealth Rocks while I land a burn with Tri-Attack. Despite Dragon Rush flinching, it still goes down. One Ice Beam to the face, and Nick is down. I shot myself when I saw that tail glow, and unfortunately Petal Dance wasn't enough to one-shot it. Thankfully King walled most of its attacks, and Quick Claw definitely came in clutch.
The second Quick Claw! King! The next one is Shaman Skyform! King, come on, bro. Earth Power? Fuck! Why do you have so many coverage moves?
Please don't get one-shotted by whatever he's about to use.
12 seconds later.
We're cooked, aren't we? Yeah. The Shaman beat the fuck out of me. The next attempt I led with Boo instead, and the opening went much better as Fanny managed to activate Unburden.
Darkrai! You're back again, bro. Last time I saw your ass was back in Desolation. And in fact, let's keep it that way. Explosion! I don't care what type of buffs any of these bots have gotten in this game. Darkrai is a frail ass nigga. It better die from this explosion. That's what I'm talking about. I don't even know who's next, bro. Shaman, maybe? Like, okay. We did get the quick lock. If we get freeze or flinch, this could be absolutely phenomenal. Oh, wait, that's not too bad. Like, bro, I'm so glad I picked King. Steel and Water has been such a W-ass typing. Steel in general, bro, it's just like W, you know? And there's the EQ. Wow. Why didn't you use that the first time? Dragon Rush, please don't flinch.
This is how it always happens.
She beat me again, but the next round I got a little luckier with my moves. Omni Boost let me one-shot Darkrai, and I managed to take down Giratina. King could one-shot Shaman, but the last Mon was. Awesome. This thing fucking mauled me. Having SD plus extreme speed and a Lumberry is a devastating combo. In fact, it was the main reason I lost so many attempts. Like, why does bro have Sucker Punch too? What? Is this even winnable anymore? I mean, Sucker Punch works without you even using a move in this game. So this thing just has full priority over my team. Once we actually look at the RC stats, hope genuinely starts to fade. I couldn't even use high jump kick because of the gravity. I already knew my team was way too frail to tank its attacks, which made me realize I had the Reflect team in my bag. I gave it to Egg, and while the strategy sounded great on paper, I just kept on piling up L after L after L. Oh my god. Could this really be another wall? Was the journey about to be left unfinished? There's one thing I've learned throughout this video. It's that the odds may be against me, but with enough cheese and RNG, anything is possible. Oh man. After losing to her for an hour, I was ready to stop recording, but I was determined to find a way. Boot takes care of the guard chomp and even manages to chip the man. I swap the Fanny who tanks the Ice Beam, activates on Burden, and explodes on Darkrai. Pause. I swap the Charon, land a Toxic, click Morning Sun, then pivot into Lola since she's immune to Shadow Force. Crunch does solid damage, but she falls shortly after. The same goes for Charon, but the poison finishes Giratina. Shaman may have Earth power, but one Avalanche is all I need. Kami-sama, Izuelto. Our King gets Sucker Punch, leaving it up to Egg the second. A self-reflect as Arceus goes for SD. I get an Aura Sphere off before it lands a nasty extreme speed, but as I went for a tri-attack, the unimaginable happened.
Look at Randy Orton slithering.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Here's the cover.
My eyes are getting watery. You see this? You see this? You see this? Oh my god, I did not expect that kid to do that much damage. Through the uttermost levels of cheese! And I mean cheesing! We did it! If I did not crit there, I would have lost. So I guess this answers the question. It looks like Platinum can actually beat Pokémon Platinum Kaizo. All of these guys deserve love, bro. Those hours are not correct. Ignore that. Dear Platina, we put you through so much. To those rare few who preserved, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Congratulations. If the dev team sees this, I hope I gave you an experience you've never seen before. I'ma keep it a buck, G. I don't know why tank top's hanging so low. Face looking mad big, but that's not why we're here. On some real shit. I was really close to just quitting this game as a whole during the Cyrus fight, if I'm gonna be completely honest. Before we leave, I always like to say one final thing before we click off the video, and it's that I genuinely aim to become one of the YouTube goals within this community. I truly see us, the Strikers, in reaching the absolute top
dominating the space, bro. When people think of Pokemon gaming content, they think of us, bro. And I truly do believe it's vision. And as recently, a lot of people have started finding my channel, really messing with the way I make my videos, especially sprite animations, or just the way I am. And with that belief, I truly believe we can make it far. Now, obviously, if you're a casual viewer, or this may be the first video you watch of mine, you might not fully believe in this vision. But for those who do, all you really gotta do to join us is just like, subscribe, and join the Discord. If you want to support me further, make sure to check out my socials below and become a member today, as it takes me one step closer to making this my full-time job. Whenever like I record a long video like this, I really sit back and think to myself like, yo, who the fuck is even watching this shit, bro? The next video project will be a quite nostalgic one, but make sure to stay hydrated, as it's getting quite hot now.